Welcome back! Today you're going to meet someone special. Someone that people around here consult when there's a cooking question, a pastry problem, or even a crisis of confidence in need of a good pep talk. Azadig Bidanian. She embodies all of the qualities of a wise female figure. She might remind you of your grandmother, a confidant that you have, someone whose house you visit when you need a serene oasis from life, a place you end up leaving so full and not just in a food way. I'm talking nourishment for mind, body, and soul. She always shares these little pearls of wisdom that lift me up and give me fresh perspective on life and its many vicissitudes. And in today's lesson, she's sure to share some with all of you. She's going to be showing me how to make her family's Village Choreg recipe, a recipe rich with history. So friends, meet Azadig. Hi, I'm Julianne, but you can call me Jewel. And this is Jewel's Armenian Kitchen. The recipes of my childhood are beginning to fade with time, so I'm on a mission to learn the secrets and stories behind great Armenian home cooking, the way it's always been passed down in family kitchens, right here in the Central Valley. I'll learn how these proud Armenian families built their version of the American dream in ways you won't find written down anywhere else. And I'll be stepping right into their kitchens to see how it's really done. There'll be great food and a few unexpected moments along the way. We're gonna have a delicious time.
Production funding for Jules Armenian Kitchen is provided by Fowler Packing Company. 3 generations of family farming in California's Central Valley, bringing Peel citrus and Sampson's grapes to families nationwide. More information at fowlerpacking.com. Ohanians of Fresno. For more than 40 years, Ohanians has preserved Armenian culinary traditions through handcrafted products rooted in heritage, quality, and craftsmanship. What began in the Central Valley is now shared nationwide. For more information, visit ohanians.com.
Today we're meeting with Azadig Bidanian, who will be showing me her family recipe for Village Choreg, a pastry with history, a sweetbread with soul. Azadig is a skilled artisan and successful businesswoman who never says it can't be done. She's taught me so much already. I feel incredibly lucky that she's taken me on as a student, and I can't wait for today's lesson. But by now you know that I never show up empty-handed, so I brought gifts. Spoiler alert, it's chocolate.
Chocolate. Chocolate. My favorite.
Everybody loves
I
chocolate.
love chocolate. Oh, wow. So beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Azadig explained to me that in Anjar, the village she's from, it's customary to open someone's gift in front of them. So of course we open those chocolates right up.
You said you were from Anjar.
Yes.
And in Armenian, if you're from somewhere, you put the C at the end. Anjar.
Anjar C.
C. TSI kind of
Yeah.
thing. And that means someone
That means,
from there?
From there.
So I'm a Fresnan.
You're a Fresno C.
A Fresnotsi.
You're a Fresno C.
In
But-
Armenia, I would be a Fresnotsi.
Yeah.
And you are Anjar.
I am Anjar C.
Anjartsi.
And there you have it, our first lesson's on the books. And now it's time to get cooking. We're starting with milk, eggs, butter, and flour.
We'll just add all the liquids in here now. But the yeast.
Okay, we're going to add all the
liquids.
liquids minus the yeast, which looks like it's
the
proofed pretty well.
yeast And the egg.
And now this is not even the full recipe, right?
This is the full recipe.
Oh, we're doing the full one?
I'm
Oh.
doing because it's very hard to cut it in half.
That's a big pot. I think we might feed a whole village with this one. But let's get to the basics. Armenian choreg is a sweet bread you'll usually find at breakfast or alongside an afternoon coffee. It's a staple on the Easter table, but also enjoyed all year long. This version, though, it's a little different. It's lighter, with less fat and fewer calories than the traditional kind. And that's because it was born out of necessity. But more on that later.
I love that you're using your hands.
Well, you have to use your hand.
Wait, why?
Hand is the taste.
Hand is the taste?
Almost every one of my guest cooks used their hands to mix something and said something similar. And I say, if the hand is the taste, then let the mouth be the judge.
And this is mehleb.
Okay, mahleb.
It's Middle Eastern thing.
Okay. I'm not sure that I know what this is. We'll have to look it up.
It's the seed of a cherry, the seed of black cherry.
Really?
And then I'll start. I have 5 pounds of flour here, which is about 16 cups. I don't add it all at once because I don't know. Sometimes it does take more or less.
Right.
Just
You want me to
I
hold it?
already sifted the flour.
Okay.
I like to sift the flour.
In advance.
In advance, because you never know what's in the flour sometimes. I will just start with this, and I would leave about 2 cups aside. And then now I add the mahleb, which is the seasoning of it. And I'm just doing this a little bit. Now I add the yeast.
I'm thinking about how cool it would be if your grandma could see you now. What do you think she would think?
I don't know. My grandma passed away in 1992, age of 93.
Wow, she was 93.
She was 93. My mom was 97.
Your mom was 97?
She passed
Oh, you have good genes.
4 years ago. Unfortunately, I'm going to be here forever.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's really good news, actually. I bet she was proud of you because you had your own business too and everything.
I did have my own business, yes.
Seems
it was my dream, so.
Seems like maybe was it common to be a woman in business at that time? A woman-owned business? No,
As
it
a matter
wasn't,
of fact,
right?
my big contract was with an Indian brothers. Two brothers had contract. One of them told me, "What makes you think to get into something like this?" It was big. What makes you think that you can manage something like this? I said, I had nothing and I didn't expect anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I had nothing, and I
didn't expect to get rich.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting. You had nothing to lose in
Nothing
that
to
regard.
lose.
You had nothing to lose.
Finally, it's time for me to pitch in by adding in the vegetable oil. This will make our dough soft and moist.
You can help me.
I can. I don't want to ruin it. You know how I get.
Not the whole thing, just a little bit at a time.
On your hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
like that?
Yeah.
The last time I was in the kitchen with Azadig, I was so panicked, and she kept saying, "You can do it, you can do it, calm down." And you taught me how to roll jurabia, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't get it right until she walked away and wasn't looking. And then I got it right, remember?
Well, you get nervous.
I
when
got
people
really
watch
nervous,
you.
I did. And I said, "It's not gonna work." And you said,
It works.
"It works." And then you said, "You can't ruin it," right?
You can't. You can't. Every mistake is a design.
Every mistake is a design. Oh man, we need to put that on a poster.
I used to do lots of knitting.
Yeah.
And they said every mistake is a design.
I love Azadig's philosophy. She's always so encouraging. And who better to take the advice that every mistake is a design than from the master seamstress herself?
It looks like you're really kneading it, and as
Yes,
you do...
until it gets softer. That's
Okay.
why I use the oil as I go.
Okay, you want a little more?
We're going to use all half cup.
Okay, but you just do little bits at a time.
A little bit at a time.
A little bit more?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
And what kind of oil is this?
It's vegetable oil.
Oh, it's vegetable, okay.
I was wondering why Azadig was being so thorough scraping the sides of her bowl, and turns out there's some superstition there. It has to do with something she once heard from a neighbor.
She had 3 boys, no girls. And I helped her a lot. She goes, when you're doing something, you're sloppy or not, you don't clean your pan, your fiancé is going to be very ugly. So I don't want him to be ugly.
That's hilarious.
She goes, "Pesatsu dekebilirler." In Armenian means your fiancé is going to be ugly. If I don't do this, I don't want him to be ugly.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we definitely don't want any ugly
I
fiancés
don't
around here.
I don't want him to be ugly.
We only want cute ones.
Yes. That's why I keep doing this.
Very good, very good. Yeah. Let's bring some cute, attractive fiancés around.
Oh, yeah.
So we continued kneading and adding oil until the dough was nice and soft. It's important to not overdo this part.
And this is how I do it always. That's what they told me. Make a cross.
Oh, how beautiful. Who taught you to make a cross?
My grandma.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
She always made a cross when she made the dough. Any dough. This is ready to go. It's going to take about 2.5 to 3 hours to rise, and probably longer if it's winter. You have to be patient with this. Go ahead and do something.
Come on, rise,
Go shopping or wash dishes, do laundry.
When we were kids and we had to wait for it to rise, we went crazy at my grandma's house. We were like, "Oh, no. Grandma, is it ready yet?"
So that's ready.
Very
It's ready
nice.
to go.
Now we have to give our dough a good amount of time to rise. Make sure to cover the bowl and stash it somewhere safe. My grandma covered it with a clean dish towel or even sometimes a blanket. In typical Azadig fashion, we used a plastic bag that we would reuse later. I love how her kitchen embodies the old adage, waste not, want not.
Did you get mad when those guys said to you, what
No,
makes you
no,
think?
no. I never. Nothing bothers me. I just ignore people. No, nothing bothers me.
You're like a serious teacher right now. Like, yeah, you don't care, do you? No.
Fine, that's what you think. It's okay with me.
Because do you think, like, I'm going to show you?
No. Well, no, I don't like to prove a point.
You don't
I
like
do
to?
what I do. Yeah, I do what I do. They believe in it, fine. They don't believe in it, it's okay.
Interesting. You're so self-directed.
I do what I do, she says. If they believe in me, fine. If they don't believe in me, it's okay. It's kind of giving the let them theory by Mel Robbins, honestly. Azadig doesn't need to prove a point. She just believes in herself and proceeds accordingly. And isn't that empowering?
And that goes into the bedroom for now.
Now, in the meantime, we mixed together our egg wash to brush on the dough later. We used 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of milk, a teaspoon of sugar, and a dash of vanilla.
So, Azadig, tell me about this sign in your kitchen. It says, I'm sorry, I don't remember this recipe, calling for your opinion. What is that?
Well, that sign came from when I had my father's the 40th day, which is Memorial Day for us. And I made the salad. I put everything that has to go on the table with the dressing and everything.
Yeah.
And a couple of days later, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, called me. She says, that was not your salad. What was that? I said, everybody put their little comment or pinch of salt in it, so it was something different. And then a few days later, she said, did you go to your mailbox? I said, no. I went to the mailbox. There was this notepad, which is that picture. 1950s ladies cooking, and it says, no, but I don't think anybody's asking your opinion. So, and when my uncle passed away, they brought his pictures, and I found that in it. That picture has been taken 1988. I was 40 years old in Palm Springs.
So there's a little
the
sarcasm there. It reminds me of that phrase that you taught me, Chemgurnar?
Chemgurnar. Never say Chemgurnar.
Never say it. And what does it mean?
She said, never say Chemgurnar, never say Chullar. Never say I can't do it, and never say it can't be done.
Can't be done.
It can be done. Maybe you don't do it like everybody else does, or you do it a different way, but never say it can't be done. It can be done.
I love how she said, there's nothing that can't be done. It can be done. Maybe you don't do it like everyone else does it, but you can find a way to get it done. When I was a younger woman in my 20s, right out of college, working my first job, which ironically was in TV, I would often say, I can't do it, and my boss would get so mad at me because of course I could. And he knew that I could. The problem was that I didn't have enough life experience to really believe in my abilities at that time. I say it less now in middle age, but that crisis of confidence still creeps up now and then. And that's why Azadig's reminder is so important when that self-doubt creeps in. She reminds us to believe in ourselves, that we can always rise through our challenges, just as our dough has risen. So let's get back to that.
Any dough that you touch, which has yeast in it, you have to wait at least 15 minutes after you touch it.
So that it can come back up?
It will come back again.
I see.
Yeah. It will relax.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to cut it now.
So now we're going to cut it.
This is your baby that's
this
risen.
This is the baby. It's risen, and it's really nice and soft and delicious.
It really is.
It's about 2 ounces. If you want me to weigh it, I can. Let's weigh it.
You want to weigh it?
Just for...
You really want to be on point today.
Just for, yeah,
okay.
So they know. Just they
okay.
have, because in Armenian recipes, they never tell you how much to put in, how to cut it. They just, godorma. What is a godorma?
Well,
this is a piece, and this is a piece. So
exactly.
If you haven't done it before, you don't know how big.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't know.
I'm always struggling because I read these
because
recipes.
the recipes are not.
They don't tell me what I need to know.
They don't tell you what you need to know.
It's actually the whole reason why I'm doing this project is because I'm trying to learn And it's people like you who are gracious enough to teach me.
One time somebody gave me an Armenian recipe book, which is in Orange County ARS.
ARS is Armenian Relief Society.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says, put it in a tray and bake it. And I called her, I said, what tray? 15 inch, 20 inch, 5 inch, what tray? Well, the tray, which one?
Right.
There's so many different trays.
Right.
Yeah.
Glass tray, baking pan.
13 inches, 5 inches.
Look at
This
you.
is 2 ounces.
You knew it was 2 ounces, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's exactly right.
2 ounces.
Fabulous.
You wanna do
Okay.
it?
It was at this point Azadig asked for my help again, and the nerves of messing something up started to hit.
I'm nervous again.
No, don't. Here,
I can do it.
hold, pinch. There you go.
Can I weigh it and see how I did?
I think you have to. I think you do have to.
I do.
Yeah, 'cause-
I always think I can't with you, and you always tell me that that's not good. That's not even right. Okay.
We continued this process until we lost count. Along the way, Azadig taught me this technique to easily
now
roll
let
the
me try
perfect
that.
balls. And that's the best part about this show, if you ask me. Learning the secret
Oh
tips.
yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
What a great little technique.
Yeah,
Look at that. It's perfect.
It's nice and smooth. You can do that, or you can do this, or you can use your hands.
This is great. I love this. Brilliant.
Once we're done, we cover our balls with a plastic bag and leave them to rest another 15 minutes or so. Azadig explained it's because the gluten needs time to relax, so it'll be easier to roll and shape into our choreg. Joyce talked about the inner workings of gluten too when we learned to make kufta, and I must say, I really like learning these food facts. Probably back in the day when schools taught home ec, they covered this kind of stuff, but I never learned it. At this point, we had some time to kill as we waited for our dough to rise. Azadig had prepared a small snack for our crew. Just a few salads, she said. It was at this table that we learned the story behind the recipe for Village Choreg. I mentioned earlier that Azadig's grandparents were from Musadag. This is a very important place, and here's why. During the 1915 Armenian genocide, a time besieged with horror stories, there was also a powerful story of resistance when Armenian villagers famously retreated to their mountain of Musadag rather than comply with the deportation orders that they knew to, in fact, be death sentences. For 52 days, these villagers held out against repeated assaults until ultimately rescued by the French Navy. It was called the Battle of Musaler. In Western Armenian, Musaler means Moses Mountain. During the battle, the villagers made herise, which is a wheat and porridge stew that they cooked and served communally. This is the food that sustained them through the battle, and Azadig's family was among them. They went to Egypt, where they lived in refugee camps. While in Egypt, they yearned for their homeland and would make herise in honor of the time that they would return. And 4 years later, they did. Now it was under French administration, and they rebuilt their village life there. But that revival was temporary because in 1939, France ceded the territory back to Turkey, causing many Armenians to fear renewed persecution under Turkish rule. So, the French authorities organized and assisted their relocation into Lebanon, where a new settlement, Anjar, was created specifically for Musadag Armenians and remained under French rule. Azadig's grandparents and parents were uprooted yet again, and it was very tough to survive in Anjar, especially their first winter there, and many did not make it. See, Anjar sits in the Beka Valley and has a drier inland landscape with flatter terrain. It's a stark contrast to Musadag's dense Mediterranean coastal vegetation. It was such a change, and everything had to adapt, including their recipes. And that's where the Village Choreg was born.
You just do this. You kind of make it a little bit longer and roll. Go forward and back, forward and back. And I will say about 10 inches.
Oh, look, she's even got a. You're very efficient, you know.
Yeah, it's about 10 inches.
Okay.
There we go. Put it back together and push with your finger.
Why? How come mine didn't go very good?
Because you didn't put enough pressure on it.
Oh, I didn't put enough pressure? Okay.
Don't be too.
Don't be too shy? Oh, I'm thinking about the cookies we made, and then I was using too much pressure. That's a light touch.
That's a fancy cooking. This is a peasant cooking, so you can't be very nice.
I see, okay.
Yeah, there you go. This is about this long.
Oh my gosh, I'm only on my first one and I'm struggling here. Okay, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, you're gonna get it. Left and right.
Yeah, so about 10 inches, okay. And then
bring it
together. And then you go...
When you start like this. And
like this?
Yeah, and push it with your finger in.
Okay. I did one.
If somebody's reading an Armenian recipe, that means they've never done it. They've never seen anybody doing it.
Exactly.
So you have to go really, really detailed, which thinks something doesn't mean anything to you.
Exactly.
But you have to, because they don't know. They've never seen their grandmother doing it. They've never seen their mother doing it.
Exactly. Isn't that the thing about details? They're really important, and we overlook them all the time.
Yours is a little bit too small. I'm going to stretch them out a little bit more.
Mine's a little too small.
Now, you have the option to roll some black sesame seeds into your dough here if you want to, which I really like. Oh, and remember the egg wash we made earlier? It's time for us to brush it onto the top.
This is the makeup.
The makeup. And then we're going to bake it at what temperature?
350.
For how long?
About 10-15 minutes, probably 10-15 minutes, the bottom shelf, and then we move this to the top. We put the second one in the bottom.
And then, so all in all, like 20 minutes?
About,
okay.
Well, this is easy way to do the sesame. There are lots of ways to do the sesame, but for me, I found out this is the easy way to do it.
Nice. Yum.
Okay, it goes in the oven.
All right.
So we rolled out our choreg with some black sesame, sprinkled on some white sesame seeds, and brushed them over with egg wash, and then threw it in the oven for about 20 minutes at 350 degrees, leaving them a perfect golden delight. Isn't it amazing how Azadig moves around so efficiently in her kitchen? She was born with total congenital dislocated hips and has had periods in her life when she couldn't walk, punctuated by other times when successful surgeries gave her a chance to walk, sometimes for years at a time. As a child, her mom encouraged her to be strong, to find a way to manage in her life and tackle her dreams. Watching her wheel around her kitchen, knowing that she built her own enterprise and did everything completely independently in her life, and to see how much of a master she is at the things she takes on, all of it is living proof that what doesn't break you does make you stronger.
Smells of childhood. So comforting, so warm. It's a powerful smell. Well, we're here with the finished product.
Then you have the choreg.
It smells delicious. The cherry,
the pit of black cherry.
The pit of the black cherry it creates this kind of aromatic.
It's called mahleb.
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 Oh, well, it's really good. It smells delicious, and it creates the distinct smell and also flavor. I'm gonna help myself. Is that
Go
okay?
ahead, please. Show the inside.
It's so good. See how it just comes apart?
Anushala.
Sweet, may it be sweet for you? Is that
Anushala?
Anushala. So we are going to have this recipe available on our website. It'll be called Azadig Bidanian's Village Choreg. It'll be at valleypbs.org, valleypbs.org/Jules Armenian Kitchen, so that you can make it yourself, but you have to have time. And you've got to make sure, and you've got to make sure to keep it warm. It needs to be warm. It's like a little baby. You have to snuggle it up. And I want to thank you again for having us.
It was a pleasure to have you.
To recap, we started by making our dough with milk, eggs, butter, sugar, flour, mahaleb, and yeast. We left that to rise and made our egg wash with an egg, a tablespoon of milk, and a dash of vanilla. Once our dough was ready, we portioned out 2-ounce pieces, formed them into perfect circles, then left those to rest. We learned a bit about Azadig's history, then we came back to roll our dough into circles and brush them over with egg wash. We sprinkled in some black and white sesame seeds before putting them in the oven for our final product. And don't forget, you can follow along to the full recipe at valleypbs.org/Jules Armenian Kitchen. When I leave her house, I feel so refreshed in mind and spirit, and of course body too, because of how much she feeds me.
Man, I am so glad we got to do that. That was awesome. Azadig is the best, don't you agree? Well, there's more food to eat and more recipes to learn, so on to my next kitchen.
Book club moment. Want to learn more about Musadag? Well, my source was Franz Werfel's novel, The 40 Days of Musadag. It was published in 1933, and it's a really important book not only because the story totally grips you, but also because it brought widespread international recognition to the Armenian genocide at a time when history was repeating itself, as it so often does.
Production funding for Jules Armenian Kitchen is provided by Fowler Packing Company, 3 generations of family farming in California's Central Valley, bringing Peel citrus and Samson's grapes to families nationwide. More information at fowlerpacking.com. Ohanians of Fresno. For more than 40 years, Ohanians has preserved Armenian culinary traditions through handcrafted products rooted in heritage, quality, and craftsmanship. What began in the Central Valley is now shared nationwide. For more information, visit ohanians.com.